Okay, we'll look on material editor and a basic. To switch to advanced, we'll just click on advanced material editor. It's come up with warnings. Okay, well, let's go OK. And you notice we have much more information they can manipulate here as well. So first, color in alpha. It's similar what we have it when you can preset color or image, except we have much more options. One thing, we can have a different color mode, procedures, natural grain, and map it. So let's start with map it picture. It's where we can go inside and preloaded our image that we want applied, blend with specific color this image. So it's kind of will start overlay. We can color mask to this to specific color we want it. Next, we have our preview rotation, similar things with alpha and gamma. We have an interpolation type for the texture, and this is help to remove those zigzag lines on the side. Bilinear work very well. You can go normalizing by cubicle. In a string of anti-aliasing will increase as more you progress down, but again it will take a little bit longer time to process, and sometimes even it's have stronger anti-aliasing, you don't necessarily want this because it will create more smoother kind of artificial look in some cases on the textures of the plant trunks. Next, we have an image scale, offset, rotation, and as well if we have a placement. For example, if I can create layer and I can create some specific image on a trunk, actually I can create and place it this just in that area, like for example even spray paint or some other markings. Next, we have a type of the mapping. By default is automatic, and it's worked very well. If you have a UV map, you can have it automatic UV, flat, cylinder, spherical, and toroidal. So it depends which work. You can try cylinder on the trunk of the tree, see if it's work very well for you, but mostly automatic will determine what type of shape of object and apply properly for this. We also have an option for this image to tiling, repeat it, and it's applied for X and Y as well, mirror or once, and same for the Y. Same things, repeat it, mirror, or use it once. Other options, we have this procedural color, and this is a classic standard where you can preload color map if you have it anything. So for example, we can go and preset, for example, this color map. We also can apply function and procedural colors, and we can apply alpha function. One thing, notice if I right click on all of them, I have the ability to access edit function. This is will add or open for us. This is function editor specifically related to the material. So I can go inside and modify some of those settings. We'll go a little bit more closer in this in our advanced section of these tutorials, but just let you know, so if we do some modification, we can also go a little bit more depth in and modify here. So for example, we can go inside and maybe add fractal, just very simple, some fractal, and we can go connect to the fractal. So it will change slightly colors, and we can preview properties. So let me just decrease this one, increase roughness, and you can see right here we kind of start adjusting a little bit colors on this case. So you can modify and create procedural colors. How I said before, they work very well. However, with exporting, you may have some problems sometimes. So I would recommend, if possible, stick with the image mapping type. And okay, next we have a natural grain. It's more newer type. It's actually creating just parametric for you with the two colors. For example, you can select two different colors, and you can modify by scale, roughness, and balance, and all those additional properties. Same, you can modify them to create more grainy look of your coloring. So again, you have it overall of three different things. In many cases, mapping probably work the best for you, but problem is you will need to create image maps. Okay, next we have a bump map, and this is again you have a normal map or along a normal, and we can create bump procedures or just click and preload it if you already have one. And this is will apply some bump map. Some of them will be quite a bit strong, so we need to look on the plant or other things, depending how it's well applied. I do find out reducing maybe to a little bit less will actually give it a better effect than very strong depth. We have also option to modify filter for example bumps. Right here we'll have it a little bit more like eroded bumps if we reduce smoothness. Okay, this maybe work a little bit better on the bark when we're creating with this angle. We also have a bump scale. If we have any underlying bump, if we have an additional layer here with a bump map, we can see how they interact, just add to them or maybe blend together. And we also have an option to add displacement map, which is have a stronger effect. Most overall different between bump map and displacement, it's where you see on a side bump map work with the lighting and shading and does not change shape of the object. Displacement map will change slightly shape of the object, and mostly it will be visible on the sides. So if you have a very rough texture on the plant like trunk, you maybe want to use displacement because it will give it better effect of this roughness on a trunk. As a displacement enable, you can see right here we have its smoothness, quality increase. If we have it any force extrusion, as well we have it displace outward only, so it won't go inside. In some cases it does not change shape. If for example your branch is too thin, sometimes if its displacement go inside, you may collide and have a very unpleasant look artifacts. So in this case you want to enable displace outwards only. Also affect material distribution. On this case, if you have it, again, come back to the trunk, if we decide to place it as distribution materials in some like wool or other moss, you can go in affecting this distribution, so we'll go inside and out instead positioning on original. We also can add bump mapping to displacement, so increase better with all already what we have it. Limited subdivision, this is for the performance. And we also can apply all of these depend on a slope. So for example, with a flat slope, for example, we don't want it. Have a displacement map in when it's our bump, and when it's going straight, we want to increase. So this is all options, and many times you want to preset them or apply it based it on what type of the plant or what you're building. So this is very much bump map based on those settings. So highlights, we'll look on them before. In this overall, you have a highlight, you have it intensity, you have it highlight global size. So if we have it very shiny for the material, and also antistrophy highlighting, it's a distortion based on what type of materials. If you go on a specific material and look in a Wikipedia example, they will provide many of the settings, so you can apply directly in this application and it will be more accurate. Notice on the side of this we have this symbol. This is mean this property can be driven in a function. So, and if you open, okay, right click, you can see we're connecting right inside, so we can connect that property inside a function to some specific object. For example, we can take highlight and connect them to even time or a season and work this way, so it's much more flexible. Also, we have it variable highlights. This way it's allowed you to use the different maps. You can apply those highlights to a specific area. In some cases, if you have multiple materials, multi-layer, and one material, for example, it is shiny paint or metal, you can use the alpha map for that distribution to apply the highlights just to those specific areas. Okay, as the same, we have it, we can driving function, we can create function, we can change intensity and size by the function manipulating, as well as a scale on the highlights. So let's in next tutorial continue to look on all these additional tabs.